star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Even more, we pray for your blessing to be upon this great ship and all who visit her. May they learn from their visits to appreciate the wonderful heritage of the Great Lakes and the ships that have sailed and still sail on them.
And our next two dignitaries are the stars of the show today. And that would be James M. Schoonmaker II, Ding Schoonmaker, and his wife Tracy, who will sponsor the christening of this vessel in just moments. But in addition to that, to my right, we have William P. Snyder III and his family, and we have William P. Snyder V.
Oh my God.
William P. Snyder and Colonel James M. Schoonmaker were the two best friends who loved nothing more than their vessels on the Great Lakes, that served as the vein of iron that fed our nation, our industry, our ports. Those best friends were riding aboard the steamer Shenango in 1909 through the Soo Locks, and the colonel said to William P. Snyder I, you know, you really could build a wider ship to fill up these locks. And in turn, he did that. He built one 4 feet wider than anything that had ever been built in the history of the maritime world. And not only was it wider, but it was longer. And in fact, he named it after him. And on July 1st, 1911, on a very sunny, sultry, hot day, as we are feeling right now, 100 years ago, almost to the moment, Ding's mother, Gretchen Schoonmaker, broke a bottle of champagne across the bow of this vessel. And later that year, on October 9th, 1911, she made her very first voyage into the exact location where we are sitting at this very moment. That vessel returned to become Toledo's flagship by fate alone. But it's not been fate alone that has sustained her. It has been the efforts of countless volunteers, community supporters, organizations. As all of you know, over the course of the last 6 years, it's been a significant struggle to keep this ship in existence. If it wasn't for the Toledo Port Authority, if it wasn't for Jim Hartung looking out, bringing us under his wing when he was with the port, we would not still be here today. I can tell you that if it wasn't for folks like Sue Duckworth and Richard Boers, I would not still be here today, and we wouldn't have been able to accomplish this project. Most importantly, if it wasn't for the folks standing in those khaki shirts up there and the folks standing in those blue shirts on the rail. In the khaki shirts, we have the entire volunteer crew of the Willis B. Boyer, now Colonel James M. Schoonmaker Museum ship, which is the largest volunteer crew in its history. And above them, you will see Ed and Virginia Brandstetter with the entire crew of P&W Painting, which has given everything that they have had to make this ship look like you see today. Their efforts have been phenomenal, so let's please give them a round of applause as well. And I've got to point out, because I know he's real bashful, next to Virginia up there is Andre Thomas. Andre, raise your hand. Andre was our foreman on this job. He's given everything he's got. Did a heck of a good job. So with that, it's representative of how these ships, how our port community has the ability, above all else, to relay a story of people, of a city, of a river, of a lake. Ultimately, one could stand in front of this ship and say that it's nothing more than a piece of riveted steel. But when you look at her, when you stand in her presence, you know that it's something more. And over her 100-year history, we know that she's had many, many crews and many supporters. And the next folks that I would like to actually stand up, if they are here, is any family members of past crew members or crew members themselves. If you could please stand at this time. No matter what, in our industry and our lives, it's about people, and it's about tradition and history, and we can never lose that. I always say that we want the Port of Toledo to be the capital of the Great Lakes, past, present, and future. And I think we are truly establishing that on every level. And it's because of things like this, coming together as a community to support our maritime interests, that will make that happen. We have a partner with the Great Lakes Historical Society to make that happen in the future, and I can't thank you enough for being here today.
Mrs. Schoonmaker just said that she christened this vessel the Colonel James M. Schoonmaker, as it was done 100 years ago today in honor of her husband's grandfather.
She may not sail the lakes again, but a Laker she'll ever be. The Colonel James and Schoonmaker, still Great Lakes royalty. She sits today in layup, no more the waves to fight. She'll never again sail into Erie, past Toledo harbor's light. But she's still alive at anchor for all of us to see. The Colonel James and Schoonmaker, still Great Lakes royalty.
So with that, I'm going to conclude our ceremony. But personally, I also need to thank two more people in this. And one would be a very, very patient wife. And my wife, Rebecca, is right over there. She's a trooper. And I also need to thank my dad, Paul C. Lamar Jr., who's sitting right over there, who instilled this within me, had the model of the Schoonmaker on my fireplace mantle since the day I was born. So he deserves a lot of credit as well. I consistently say this is all your fault. And with that, thank you very much, and enjoy.